Hey friend, it's Mesha with the Golden Nugget of the Day to help you along your way. I have a testimony. Back in December, a few weeks ago, right before 2023, somewhere around December 8th or 9th, I was admitted into the hospital. Now, I went to the emergency room with severe back pain that I've never experienced before in my life. And when I would move certain ways, I could feel something. It was like something was just sitting there. It kind of felt like somebody had stabbed me from my back into my chest and that the knife was just there. That's what it felt like. But the ER doctors were saying that it appeared that I was in complete heart block. When they told me that, I kind of giggled because I'm thinking, if it's complete heart block, surely I would have other symptoms. But they admitted me, they wanted to watch me, they wanted to run tests. So, of course, my husband was praying. He had everybody praying, and my cousins and friends and family and folks were praying for me, my children. Everybody was praying for me. One of my cousins, I'm not going to mention her name, but if you know her, and you know she means Jesus. So she would call me and pray with me, and she confirmed what God was telling me, because the entire time they were telling me what was going on with me and what they saw, God was saying, it's not real. It's not real. He said, it's a facade. It's a shadow of death. And I believed him. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't worried in that hospital, but I was praying. I was lifting my hands to God and speaking to him and believing him at his word. It was just really, it was like I was in a movie. I was watching a movie of myself. It just didn't even feel real. I believed God at his word. The doctor came in one day and he said, Miss Lanier, we see something, so we're going to send you back down for another MRI. They had already done an MRI, CAT scan, EKG, sonogram, ultrasound of my heart. He said, we're going to send you back down for another MRI, and this time we're going to do it with contrast so that we can illuminate everything and see what's going on. I went down and had that test. The next morning, he came back to my room and just made himself comfortable. He said, Miss Lanier, we see something. I was pretty much relieved because I was hurting. I felt something and I wanted to know what that was that they saw. He said, it's anterior to your spine. He said, it looks like it's in between your heart and your spine. So it's not your back. He said, but it's a spot. He said, I don't know if it's fluid or if it's tissue, but there's something there. And I said, well, what is it? He said, we don't have a clue. And both of us kind of laughed. Listen, I just believed that God was going to heal me. He had been telling me all along that it was nothing, and I believed that it was nothing. The doctor said, we're going to release you. We're going to let you stay another night. Then we're going to release you, and we're going to bring you back and do another MRI, and we're suspecting that it's going to be gone. Well, listen, I have you to know that it is gone. That pain that I felt that literally took my breath away and paralyzed me is gone. That feeling, I don't feel it anymore. The Lord healed me. He shall get the glory. And while God was telling me it's a facade, it's not real, it's the shadow of death, I kind of, I know that verse, but the other day I was standing in my bathroom getting ready for work, and God brought that verse back to me. Read it with me. Psalms 23:4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, King James Version, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. The Lord said, Mesha, I had to allow you to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, things that appeared real but they weren't, to prove to you that you don't have to fear when you go through stuff like this, because I'm with you. My rod and my staff, they comfort you. That rod and that staff, they represent guiding and defending. That's what a rod and a staff does. God says, I was with you the whole time. I'm always going to be with you. You don't have to fear. If you go through this stuff, I'm with you. So listen, Listen, people of God, we don't have to fear because God is there. How will we know that he's a healer if we never get sick? How will we know that he's a heart fixer if our heart is never broken? How will we know that he's peace if we never are in the midst of a storm? How will we know that he's a deliverer if we're never bound? I just believe that God is allowing some of us to go through just so he can prove to us that he is who he says he is. And I'm so grateful because while life is lifing us, I'm here to tell you that God is yet on his throne and he will never stop being God. Woo! I'm just excited about it. I'm excited about it. Listen, Paul said in 2 Corinthians 12, he was talking about when he had that thorn in his flesh. He said, so therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in needs, he said in persecutions, in distresses for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, that's when I'm strong. Woo, people of God, believe God at his word. Quote it, speak it, eat it, digest it. But everything is going to pass away. But the word of God will stand forever. It will last forever. I love y'all. Let's talk next week.